Ladies and gentlemen, I am the next gem of great British wrestling ring announcing, Adam Blackburn, and you are listening to the new Great British podcast, Submit Wrestling Cards, with your hosts, Jack and Kev.
Well, welcome. Episode number 4, I believe now. Is that right, Kev? 4?
Unbelievable. Yes. WrestleMania episode number 4. Yeah, but we're
so my name is
professionals
Jack.
now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't know if we can be professionals until we get to say episode 10, but episode 4, I think we're on the way. We're getting there. We've established our little routine, even though we still just fumble about most of the time, but we've established a routine.
We haven't got one.
But yes. we wouldn't wing this at all in any way, shape, or form. We wouldn't at all wing this, whenever. So yes, my name is Jack, and my ever knowledgeable and sensational host is
Kevin Williams. Thank you very much for that cool intro, Jack. The superstar that you are, looking suavo with a cool haircut.
I know, I had to get it all cut. For those of you that are listening only, I'm lazy with my haircuts, which basically means I try to go to the barber as less as possible, and I get it cut as short as possible without having a skinhead. So there we go.
Well,
that's an insight into my life.
You could tell the truth there, Jack, with what happened on the internet.
I had possibly the worst insult ever thrown at me on the internet. Someone called me a bold DJ. And if you have ever met me, I am like a
Yeti.
I'm like a version of Teen Wolf that's just been allowed to assimilate into society. So calling me bold, I mean, I wish I was, because then I wouldn't have to go to the hairdressers all the time. But yeah, whatever.
What an absolute incredible insult in 2022. Anything but bold,
I
know.
Yeah, I know.
But we've had to coax you around for this episode because you've been on a downer because of that.
Yeah, that's it. I've been suffering pretty bad. Yeah. Myself and the wife have, we've really gone through some tough times because someone thought I was bold.
It reminds me of my niece when I see my niece and she calls me a little fatso or something. I'm like, oh.
Oh no, what an
insult. No. Yeah. So,
my 4-year-old daughter calls me a slug. Yeah, oof, I don't know why.
Amazing.
So I get called a slug quite a lot. I have no redeeming features to why I would be a slug, but she's, that's what she calls me. So there we go.
Kids are the best. Episode 4. So it's Big Bossman, Ray Traylor, Big Bubba, the Boss, Guardian Angel, the Legend.
Yeah, I think we had in the poll, we had John Cena, Big Bossman, and who was the third option?
Oh, now you got me thinking now. I'll have to check 1 minute. It wasn't Daniel Bryan, was it?
No, that was last week's.
That was one before. Ted DiBiase. Yeah.
Yeah, you see, I was really hoping that $1 Million Man would come up on top because I think he's got some awesome cards, but to be honest, Bossman's just the same. He's got some awesome cards as well. So
same era. Yeah.
There was a reason why we put. We don't normally tend to talk too much about modern stuff, but there was a reason why we put John Cena into this list, and that's because he is going to feature in our news segment, which is a fantastic split there, or segue as you might call it, from going from the introduction straight into the news. And what is the news about John Cena for us here in the UK? Kevin, take it away.
Yeah, so he's coming to Comic Con Wales on, is it the 7th of August this year? So Are you heading down, Jack?
I'm not. I mean, I'm not particularly sort of wanting to see Cena. I am going in December. So I am going to go and
December.
see that the Godfather's going to come to Telford. I'm going to go and see him and get an autograph from him. But this one, not. I'm not going to this one. I think who else is there? There's John Cena, and you've got is Stephen Regal at this one as well.
Oh, no, that one's in Wales Comic Con.
Okay,
So you got Comic Con
really
Wales,
confusing.
yeah. So that's a Wrexham one, and that is in end of the month, August. So I'll be going to both. Well, I won't be going to both. I can't get to the John Cena one because of a silly thing called work, which should be illegal when it comes to wrestling, you know. But I have managed to send in a card with Comic Con Wales Monopoly events, and they are really good. They're really good guys. I've sent in stuff with them before. I trust them, and it's definitely well worth a blast. And when I first seen the prices, I was like, oh my God, 180, it's a lot of money. But on the other hand, it's like, I might never get that chance again. So sent in the...
If you think, if you're going to sort of sit someone down who has never experienced any sort of professional wrestling at all, you're probably going to be able to throw out maybe 5 names, and they're going to know at least 1 or 2 of them. And you're going to say The Rock, you're going to say probably The Undertaker, John Cena, Hulk Hogan. You know, he's up there. He really is up there, whether you like him or not. I mean, he's a bit too sickly sweet character for my liking. I think it's you know, considering he started as a heel as well, which, you know, very early on he was a heel, and then when he switched to babyface, that was it. You know, he stuck with it. But he's so family friendly that to me, it's just
the one thing that
no one's that nice.
The one thing that I'll give him credit for is his longevity. 20 years in any industry is pretty solid, and to do it with WWE, then hats off to the guy.
Yeah,
big time. Is moving on? Is there any other news, Jack? Have you studied news at 10? What's coming this week?
I've been doing some sleuthing, some investigative journalism. Basically, I've just been spamming some of the groups on Facebook with a few questions, and this actually started from a random comment that someone, I think you had picked up on and told me about, and it kind of triggered something for me. And the comment was that people know, when you buy a box of, and this was specific to Panini, I think, when you buy not just a booster box, but a shipping box that has booster boxes inside it, people already know which booster boxes are going to have autographs in them. And they're going to be the ones at the bottom of the box. And what I've since found out is the reason why they're at the bottom of the box is because they're the ones that get packed first at distribution. And they put those in the bottom of the box because they're the ones that will contain a guaranteed auto or a guaranteed number. And then they fill the top of the box with
junk,
basically. Yeah. So the idea being is that you're, as an individual purchaser, you're never going to know which of those boxes you're buying off the shelf, whether it was at the bottom of the shipping box or at the top. You just don't know. So the only way to get around it is to buy a whole shipping box, take all the bottom boxes out and open them up until you find the auto, and then sell the other boxes to people thinking they might get an autograph.
Like me, sell them to people like me. So I've picked up a box, and it's like, I'll open it up, 24 packets or something, and I was like, no, 24 cards, and it's like three or 4 cards in each packet. Firstly, I don't like the fact that I can't buy them from the shops. So I finally gave in to temptation, opened them up, and I'm like, who's this guy? Who's that guy? No, next. And it's like, I wasted like 40 odd quid on junk. Didn't really get a kick from it.
Yeah, and that leads us on. There's a couple of points. Yeah, you've hit there. The biggest gripe that I found from people's complaints, whereby I said, you know, have Panini done a good job? Have they? Are they better than Topps? You know, the biggest complaint that people had was that Panini's not worth the money. No. They're not worth the money buying the boxes for such a low hit rate, where the value of the cards already has plummeted.
Yeah, it's gone right down, hasn't it? It's nothing, and it hasn't got the futuristic value. I mean, like you sign one of one John Cena or whatever. Yeah, that's gonna get something, and rightly so. But who's gonna want Jimmy Uso single card? No disrespect, unless you are a collector of his, and fair enough. But for me, it's got to be the top hitters or nothing for me.
Yeah, and I think that's where people have really, they're not too happy with Panini on that front. I mean, some people had said, and I think this is a very justified opinion, that they've not even been going 12 months with the WWE contract, so let's give them time, which is a fair comment. Absolutely fair. They've got the contract until 2025, according to a comment that I read. But again, is it because it's a change from what we were used to with Topps? Is it because people have seen Panini come in, they've charged more, they've given less back to the community and to the collectors, and now even the resellers are feeling the pinch, because even they're saying, I don't want to buy these anymore because the return on them is not very good. So I'll just stick to other sports. Because that's the thing with a lot of the resellers, they're not there for the specific sport. They're just there for the return. So they'll buy UFC, they'll buy NFL, they'll buy baseball, they'll buy the basketball, they'll do the whole lot. They don't care. They're not bothered about what sport it is. They just want the special cards that they can flip.
And so with that, you've got AEW shooting out some amazing cards, and the independent scene as well. So wrestling cards will always be cool, but I don't think Panini's doing a good job at the minute on a personal note. But who am I to say that? Maybe what do their fans say? Do you agree with me on that? Do you disagree? It's a tricky one, isn't it?
Yeah, the general consensus was that people weren't too happy, but then I absolutely agree with the one person's comment of saying they've not even been going 12 months. So let's just see how they get on. And they might extend the contract past 2025. Topps may take it back. We don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
100%.
Right. So that was my investigative journalism into Panini versus Topps and what people thought about that. The next part of the news, I tell you what, Kev, pick either number 1 or number 2, and I will go into, in my head, I've already devised which one is 1 and 2. So pick a number and I'll go through that piece of news next.
Number 3. Number 2. Number 2, go on.
Number 2. So number 2, we got a little bit of, quite a bit of traction of this on Twitter. The Undertaker has announced that he will now be signing again rookie 91 cards. However, they will now set you back a cool sum of how much, Kevin?
$499.
Oh, lovely, lovely. So we've gone from one extreme to the other. So we've gone from refusing to sign those rookie cards, flat out, not signing them at all. If you booked to see them at a convention and that was your favorite card, not going to get them signed.
Nothing.
Lots of backlash, lots of people getting quite annoyed and quite irate. So they've gone completely the other way now, and they're now saying, we'll charge $500 if you want us to sign that $40, $50 card. Lots of points here. So people are arguing this is part of his legacy, which I agree with. It is his legacy. People are arguing that it's not going to stop the resellers. I mean, what are your thoughts on the resellers? At $500 for a signage of a card, what's going to be the resale of that card?
It'll have to be slabbed up with PSA for it to get some decent money. Obviously, you're going to need like footage or a photograph of him signing it. Personally, I wouldn't want to go too high on a signed Undertaker card. I'd want it signed in person and have it for my own collection. Obviously, there is scope for Undertaker cards. His rookie cards are slowly creeping up. We've seen that, Jack. For me, I'd take a happy medium. Say for his other items, it's $199 for one autograph. if they turned around and said it was $250, I'd say, all right, fair enough. I get your point. Don't agree with it, but for an extra $50, I'll give you that. But not for $300. That's a bit stupid. An extra $300. That's a bit stupid. So, resellers, I think it's just business, isn't it? It just makes no difference to the Undertaker. He's a multi-millionaire. He's still getting his price.
Yeah.
The vendors are still making their money. So, does it matter?
There was someone did make a comment, which I don't actually think they fully. I don't think they fully grasp the logistics of doing this. But someone's comment on Twitter was that charging $500 per autograph will not stop resellers getting 50 of their mates, if you say it's only one per person, getting 50 of their mates to come to a convention and all pay $500 for a signing to then make money off of that. Well, I don't know 50 people, so logistically that's very difficult for me to even attempt to do that. On top of that, where am I going to get 50 rookie cards from? I mean, I could probably get about 20 in probably 5 months. I know they're dealing with extremes to make a point, but again,
the fans miss out.
This is not the solution.
No, the fans miss out.
They do. The fans do miss out.
And that's like the disheartening thing. So on a personal level, if I was to meet the Undertaker in my local Tesco's tomorrow, I just want I'd want 1 or 2 cards signing. I wouldn't want 3 million Undertaker cards. Where's the fun in that? That isn't fun for me. Obviously, there is people who are going to flip them and trade them up, and that's with every collection in the world. I bet you Ronaldo gets it. I bet you Messi or Formula One guys, you name it. So it's like it shouldn't affect the fans. That's the disheartening thing, isn't it?
Yeah. It is, and again, some people were saying, well, why don't you just charge less for if you want it personalized? That way, the resale completely plummets because John isn't going to want to buy a card that says to Sam. It's not going to work.
No.
That could solve some of the problem. Personally, I don't resell any autographs, but I don't have them personalized. I just don't. Just personal preference. I just don't. But if I was to have the opportunity to have the Undertaker sign something, then I wouldn't care if it was personalized. That I would happily say yes to having it personalized just to me, to have it signed cheaper. So that would be, again, I would make that sacrifice just for that. And it's not a big sacrifice, but I'd agree to it.
Yeah.
Let us know, what could solve this problem, because charging $500 is not going to solve the problem.
No, it's not. It's not for the fans, is it? And that's what we're here for, because we are fans. Anyway, we love a good number 2, Jack. We've got that one out. What's to news number 1?
News number one. The big dog, the big man himself, Vinnie Mac, is stepping down amid some forms of controversy.
Something's going on. Something's going on, I feel.
There's rumours, all sorts, and not very good rumours of things happening, but it's
doesn't look good.
No. And let's sort of look at the legacy very quickly here. Vinny took over late 80s?
83, I think. No, 83. Yeah, earlier.
Oh, wow. I thought it was later than that. Okay.
No.
So the legacy is unquestionable. The methods, probably not great, but the legacy is unquestionable. So I think that's we always knew it was going to happen. Of course, time marches on. People are going to want to step down, but I am not looking forward to what's going to come out of this. There's going to be some skeletons out of that.
Definitely,
closet.
Yeah, and stuff that we don't want to hear. On the other side of that, what do you think of the trading card world of Vince McMahon cards? Is it something that's going to explode? Is it something that's going to die?
Yeah, my advice here, people, and I'm not, I'm following my own advice here. I'm not going to invest in any Vince McMahon cards at this stage because for me, I seem to have this moral compass with wrestlers, and I only really want to put time and effort and money into collecting wrestlers who I think are good people. And I'm on the fence with Vince McMahon at the moment because I have a feeling that some things are going to come out that aren't nice. So
that's your side, yeah. But my side is I wish I got some 1985 Vince McMahon cards. I think looking back 6 months back, they were $30. Now they're $130. Two rogues together, him and Hogan, But the weird thing with this world is we all love a rogue. I think that's why they tune in to see me, Jack. So it's like, where it is, it's like everyone loves a rogue, and it's like, the Cray twins or whoever, and it's like, why are we like that? We should be
it's. I do think that we. I don't think people are going to be shocked. No. I think people are going to come away from it and go, well, we knew something was going on. Yeah. So wait and see. I don't think I would probably put money into Vince cards myself, even if he was to come out squeaky clean. I don't know. I might buy a couple of bits, but I'm not really. I'm not going to be chasing that one. I'll leave that up to everybody else. Yeah. But that would be my advice.
It'll be interesting to watch.
Perspective as well.
It'll be interesting to watch which way it goes. Will it go up? Will it go down? So
yeah, and again, it's based on what news comes out. Because you could spend $130 now on one of Vince's rookies, and that card could be worth $10, $20 in 3 months' time. So at your own risk.
Exactly that. Be interesting to see.
Mm-hmm. Well. So there we are. News out the way. That's done. Quite a bit covered there. There was quite a few points that we put in there. So the poll winner, Big Bossman. I am going to hand over. I will get a theme tune made for this that we'll edit in. I will do it. I'm still today setting up my new Mac because my old Mac died, so I'm having to redo all of my logic and audio stuff. So I'm redoing that as we speak. So I'm going to hand over now to history.
But until then, I'll put the Exorcist music in. How does that sound? So
let's do that.
History with Kevin. So Big Bossman, yeah. Well, if you ever take a trip down to Cobb County, Georgia, you better read the signs of respect to law and order. You'll serve hard times. That obviously is a theme from the Big Bossman. He was born on the 2nd of May, 1963, as Ray Traylor Jr. He'd actually start his career as a corrections officer in Cobb County, Georgia, but come 1985, Traylor would begin his wrestling career with Jim Crockett Promotions. Surprisingly, he started as a jobber, facing off against some of wrestling's biggest names, Ivan Koloff, Midnight Express, Sully Blanchard, and the Road Warriors. And that happened until Dusty Rhodes noticed that this guy has potential, took him off TV, and repackaged him as Big Bubba Rogers. Still at that time, he was a rookie to the business. He would wrestle for Jim Crockett Promotions and Universe Wrestling Federation. But in 1987, late 1987, he would head over to the WWF. WWF, he would carry on with that corrections officer theme, and Ray Traylor would be labeled up as the Big Bossman. Managed by Slick, he first appeared as a bad guy, carry the nightstick and handcuffs to ringside. And if you remember, he'd often cuff opponents to the ring ropes and beat the hell out of them. But it wasn't before long that he'd reunite with old pal, the one-man gang, who is now Akeem, as the Twin Towers. Into 1989 then, they were the Twin Towers, Slick as manager, but that didn't last long. until 1990 when Bossman would finally turn heel and face off against the likes of the $1 Million Man, the Mountie, and Nails. Some of his notable feuds were at WrestleMania 6, where one of his biggest supporters, Donald Trump, was in the audience. Another great match, I recommend you take a look at this one, is SummerSlam 91 versus a Mountie in a jailhouse match. That, I think it's on the network and definitely worth a rerun. And 92 is Feud with Nails, and that's always worth a rerun too. Sadly, in 93, he'd leave WWF and head on over to WCW. Firstly, appearing as the Boss, then the Guardian Angel, and finally returning to that big Bubba Rogers name where he'd face Sting. Later on, he'd get involved with Dungeons of Doom, the NWO, but it's safe to say he was lower card at that time. Come 98, he'd be back in WWF as a boss man, and he had some incredible matches in the hardcore division. Had a great angle going on with Al Snow after he served him up Pepper, his dog. Another one was against a Big Show where he towed his father's coffin away, his casket. And that was pretty much the highlights of his later career. Finish up in Japan in 2004. And sadly, the 22nd of September 2004, he'd pass away of a heart attack. Legend to the business, an icon, one of the biggest names of the 90s in wrestling, the Big Bossman. Over to you, Jack.
Yeah, fantastic. Covered an awful lot of ground. And you're absolutely right. His name is really up there, probably top 10 of the golden era. Yeah,
golden, easy. Yeah, late 90s, late 80s, late 90s. I mean, you're gonna have your Macho Man's, Hogan, Warrior, and you're gonna say $1 Million Man, Snake, Big Boss Man.
Yeah,
way
definitely
up there. Yeah, Mr. Perfect, and everyone else to mention.
And I think we'd mentioned this the other day, which I think he doesn't get as much credit for it as he deserves, but there's not many wrestlers that were at the top of their game in the golden era that also then managed to translate through to the Attitude Era successfully. And not many were able to do it. Some of them had to completely repackage themselves, and you could look at someone like Billy Gunn as one of those, had to completely repackage who he was. But Big Boss Man didn't really need to do that. He changed his outfit rather from the blue shirt to the kind of black, kind of almost sort of
riot squad
security guard look. Yeah. They kind of went to that look, but the gimmick was the same. And not many were able to do that from golden era to all the way through to Attitude. So I think that's a big credit to him and how good and how talented he was. So justified that he's in the top 10 of sort of names. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, very talented and a good wrestler as well. He knew how to play the camera. He knew how to do promos. A lot of people talk about telling the story in the ring, and he was definitely one that could do that. So very well.
Another thing there is that he's a big guy. All right, everyone raves on about Perfect, how great he was. Owen Hart, Bret Hart, Flair. What was Bossman? Would you say 6'6" to carry that frame around wrestling and have that big presence, a boss man, police official, to have that in wrestling? There's not many in that category that could say, wow, I carry that authority. I am the Big Boss Man. Yeah. And just again, like if you speak to old school wrestling fans or people who watch wrestling in the 90s, it's like, and you explain, I love old school wrestling. I've got a podcast, I do Twitter, whatever. So I used to love it back then. It's like Hogan, $1 Million Man. Oh, remember the Big Boss Man? He always gets a mention.
Yeah,
he always gets a mention.
Which again is justified, and I think there's he could work both heel and babyface, and I don't think he kind of sat in the middle of the road, really. I think where heel and babyface are concerned, I wouldn't say he was particularly one or the other, but the fans still loved him regardless whether he was heel or babyface. So they still had a lot of love for him.
pure character as well. And
Mm.
like they always rave on about the mid-90s being too cartoonish. The Bossman wasn't that. He was like, wow, pure wrestler. Absolute. I love watching his matches still. They might not be technical or the best ever, but he did have some great, incredible matches. And one of my favorites is his match versus a Barbarian, Royal Rumble 91. Just flows so well. There's such technique into that match. Another one for fans to glance their eyes on.
Yeah. So let's have a look at some cards then. So let's go into the world of bits of paper and bits of card. Let's see what we've got. So you've given me a few screenshots here that we'll talk through with some of the cards, and I will share my screen for those watching on YouTube. But I will, we'll talk through what's on the screen for the people that are listening here. So, what's the first card you want us to have a look at?
Obviously, start with the rookie card. So it'll be the NWA 1987, 1988 Bubba Rogers card. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that one.
Yeah. Oh no, that's the
There
signed one. Here we go. Yeah. There you go. The Wonderama NWA wrestling card, Big Bubba Rogers 283. It's not the greatest of cards, but I love the rookie stuff. Only my issue that is that it's not signed. I wonder if there is many signed Big Boss Man cards out there. What's your thought on signed Big Boss Man cards, Jack?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a great one for signed cards. This isn't a great card. Let's call it as it is. Yeah. It is just a picture of a side profile picture of Ray stood in the ring, dressed in a suit and sunglasses. So it's not particularly a very action-packed card.
Very dark, isn't it? It's a dark card,
yes.
I call it.
Yeah, it's not a particularly good photo, but it is the rookie. So you have to give it that little bit of leeway that it is the rookie. So I think this is it's a cheap enough card to get, about $40 to about £30 in UK, but it's unfortunately a little bit of a boring card, but it's still the rookie.
Still a cool card. Favorite cards, Jack? Have you got any favorites of the Big Boss Man?
Well, I think there's quite a few different ones here that we'll have a look at. So talk us through this one on the screen now, Kev. What's this one?
91 Classics, as everyone knows, it's one of my favourite sets. So thought I'd send you that one across, shoot you that. And he seemed to be on a lot of images in 91. So obviously as a good guy, WWE were trying to get his name out there, the image out there. And that spells to me SummerSlam 91 with his feud against the Mountie.
You can definitely see, going back to figures, I know we touch on figures every now and then, but there's two releases of the Big Boss Man in the Hasbro collection. There's a Series 1, and I believe, is it Series 3, or it's not Series 4, is it?
Series 3, yeah.
So the Series 1 Big Boss Man certainly is more of a heel picture. A lot of people really despise the figure. I don't know why. I think it's a very apt figure for him. But the actual picture is very stern on the card. And the Series 3 figure is a much more happier, friendlier, and I think this is even the picture they've got on the figure, if I'm not mistaken. This one on this card.
I think it is, yeah. Quick glance.
I mean, it's a very, very friendly sort of picture. He's smiling, so fair enough. Let's have a quick move on then. You mentioned the feud between Big Boss Man and Nails, and this is a great representation of the two cards from the same set here. I mean, talk us through the cards very quickly on that one, Kev.
The feud again. So I just added this one in because of what it was. That feud with Boss Man and Nails, mid 92. That to me was as real as it got. A man coming out of the crowd, literally beating up a prison officer,
And these cards, these are from the SummerSlam 92 Gold Series, if I'm right.
That's it.
Taking a bit of a guess on that one, the yellow border SummerSlam.
Yep.
Yeah.
Beautiful cards. 93, that one. the Disney Limit card available in Germany. Oh, which is a magazine? The Pop Rocky magazine, is it?
Oh no, this is the Disney Limit magazine. That's a
Oh,
magazine
Disney
all
Limit.
on its own. Pop
Yeah.
Rocky had a different set, but this, yeah. So this, those that are looking on the screen, this is the same picture from the '91 classic set. It's the same picture. Disney released a magazine where you could get 6 cards and you could tear them out of the magazine. So you can see here the edges are perforated. They're all in German. There's a few other cards in that set. There's a Taker, there's a Brett, there's a Bulldog. I can't remember the other one.
Macho Man Warrior.
Yeah, but they're all perforated. So good luck trying to get them graded, because they will absolutely tank the grading because all the edges are perforated. Even if you do what I did and try and get some out of the magazine mechanically cut, the surfaces still just get absolutely tanked. But you know, you do what you do, don't you? To try and get the highest grade, it sometimes doesn't work.
Similar to the magazine cards of the late 90s at WWF. Impossible to get them mint to a degree.
Yeah, quite difficult to get them mint. So you saw a quick image there. If you are watching on YouTube, we're going to come back to that main event card in a moment. But this one here, talk us through. This is from the Blue Border Classic set.
Yeah, well, this one, who is the referee? I have no. At first I looked and said, "Oh, that's Lord Alfred Hayes." Bizarre image. I bet you someone out there, one of the wrestling card collectors or fans, will be able to tell us.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Incredible pose and with a nightstick in the air. Great memories. That's why that one's in there, Jack. Next.
Next. Fantastic card. Yeah, great pick, this one. Really good.
Yeah, this is a bubblegum card series, the Superstars of Wrestling. And that's a New Zealand lot. I think it's from 1990. And if you see it on the screen now, it will remind you of the Series 1 Hasbro wrestling figure.
Very much so. Yeah.
Same image, isn't it? And a bulkier Big Boss Man there, should you say?
Yeah, he certainly trimmed down, didn't he? It took a couple of years of work into it, but he certainly did trim down. And maybe that was part of his turn from going from heel to babyface, maybe something like that. So let's flick back through to the worst card. We'll have a quick discussion about this, and then we'll move on to some of the more sought after cards. So, talk us through what this card is, Kevin. Why it's so bad?
The WCW main event Big Bubba card. Look at it. What is it to that card? It's like half of it shows a Big Boss Man's armpit. He's got like a face of like thunder, and there's a boot. Nothing pretty about that, mate.
It's a terrible card. It's dark. It's pointless. It's sweaty. I mean, it just looks grimy and horrible. So not very good.
Not for me. Right. So that's the worst of the Boss Man. Show us the best of the Boss Man, Jack.
Yeah. So there's a few cards here that we always like to chuck in some goodies, some real good stuff. Maybe not rare. I think some people seem to think that for a card to be rare or expensive, that's what makes it good. But here at SWC, we're not interested. We are interested in rarity. I think there's lots of different factors which make cards obviously rare and desirable. And it's personal choice, really, isn't it? So, first of all, let's have a quick look at my favourite card for Bossman, and it's going to be up on the screen now. So, Kev, talk us through this card.
Big Bossman Swanson, WWF. So that would be from 1991. And I believe they're from Canada. Is that right, Jack?
Yes, they are. Yeah, Canada only. And this, for me, the reason why I think I love this card. So there's 12 in this set, right? And there's some absolute, corkers in this set. There's Macho Man. There's Bushwhackers, Texas Tornado, Hulk. $1 Million Man, mine's gone. Jake, mine's gone slightly blank. So there's quite a few big hitters for 1991. But what makes me laugh, the reason why I find this set so funny and attractive, is that Swanson make TV dinners.
What?
And these TV dinners, microwavable TV dinners, and these cards were in the boxes with those microwavable dinners.
Unbelievable.
So, you know, the length and breadth as to which WWE, you know, did their licensing is just, I mean,
beyond,
you know,
isn't it?
You want to talk about merchandise? Obviously, Kev, you are the man. You've literally wrote a book on obscure merchandise for wrestling. So you're
wrestling merchandise of the 1990s. Just quick, cheap plug, available from all good bookshops. And me.
Yeah. But this is just
bizarre,
a weird example. TV dinners. You know, kids weren't buying. You know, I don't think kids were buying TV dinners, but their parents may well have been. So it's a good card. And again,
I was going to say, it's like the ice cream cards as well. I can get it with an ice cream. All right, kids love ice cream, but TV dinners, really? Is that the healthy option that they're feeding kids with? Wow.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's a weird one. And again, I have a thing for cards or stickers that only use, a picture that hasn't been widely used. And certainly this picture of Bossman, there's an orange background. He's not holding the nightstick. It's kind of like top half of his torso. It's a picture that isn't really used very often. So it's a bit of a rare card here in the UK, but as I say, it's a unique card and it's got a weird story behind it. So that's an odd one.
Beautiful card.
Let's look to another card. So let's load up another one. And whilst I get all my bits lined up, Kev, talk us through this weird card.
Oh yeah, well, it's not quite weird. It's what the Heritage WWE line is from Topps. I've been looking at this one on eBay. It's from a seller, Breakout Cards. Give him a quick mention. He seems to have quite a lot of wrestling cards and other bits. It fetches you back to that 1987 WWE Topps range. And I just thought it's a cool card. I won't mind having a full set of that lot. It's got the nostalgic point. It's got WWE on it. It's Big Bossman. Why wouldn't anyone want that? It's very good.
And
love it.
So the card itself, so it's fitting with the 87 Heritage lines. Very similar design, front and back. It says on the front, Big Bossman wins a jailhouse match. So for those that don't know what a jailhouse match is, and I would be absolutely, I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't know what a jailhouse match was. So Kev, what on earth is a jailhouse match?
Well, that was a match between the Big Bossman and the Mountie, SummerSlam 91. The loser goes to jail. Remember that?
And of course,
ridiculous.
This is, real jail. Yeah, someone's you're gonna have to pass that by a judge that you've lost a wrestling match and you're now going to jail. Absolutely makes perfect sense.
But watching back as a 7-year-old kid, SummerSlam 91, that was so good. And the Mountie played that villain so well, putting the middle finger up, and that was never seen on WWE TV. And the memories from that alone is well worth picking up. Another thing that, as we say, we're not all about the rare rookie cards and the signed cards and the chase cards. It's $2.99 with £1 postage. It's £4. It's nothing. That would look good in anyone's collection, Jack. So,
absolutely. And as you say, they're a good. It'd be a great set to have in full.
100%.
And this is telling, isn't it? Something that I've just realised. Modern cards replicating vintage cards. It's almost as if they want to be something they're not.
Exactly. So you get it with wrestling figures, the retro line today. Even He-Man toys, Thundercats, Ghostbusters, everything's going back to the 80s when it was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a big 80s revival at the moment, isn't there? Shows like Stranger Things. I think my wife just started watching that. It's not particularly my cup of tea, but very
It's
much
not bad.
an 80s sort of revival coming on. Right. So here's the last card we're going to show. Quite a desirable one. Well, I'd certainly like it in my collection.
Yes.
Tell us about this card, Kev. Tell us about the card, and then tell us why it's desirable.
Very common card from the SmackDown set, the 1999 set, and it's probably one of the easiest sets to pick up right now. I think that has got great potential, that set. It's easy to get you hooked. It's easy to get you involved. And it's quite a cool set. I know you're not a fan because it hasn't got the borders, but it's got the memories of the Attitude Era. On the screen, it's signed by the Big Bossman. It's authenticated by PSA, and it's only $500. Think about it. Bossman's been gone for 18 years, and it's quite a good autograph on the card itself. It's in green. I'm surprised that's still up for that price, really. What's your thoughts on it?
I'd love to have it. And
Yeah.
I'd love to have it purely because authenticated. It's an autograph from Ray, which again, quite hard to get hold of. An odd choice of card to have signed, an odd color to have signed, but it kind of works in a weird way. It's quite a unique card. I can understand why they didn't want the card graded, because looking at the edges of the card, a little bit of whiting around the edges, so it wouldn't grade very high. But absolutely, you would need to have that authenticated correctly, which is what they've done. So that's the right choice and the right move. This is quite a late card in PSA's catalogue, so this would have been done probably within the last maybe 12 months. Looking at the reference number starting 8, that's quite a late edition. I think they're up to high 8s, low 9s now. So quite a recentish card to go through their process. I just want to point out something as well on the screen here, and you've cropped this screen. This is just a screen grab that Kev took earlier. You've cropped this screen just ever so slightly short.
I could see at the bottom.
The one thing, that's going to absolutely kill some people. So people in the UK are fully aware of this and how painful it is to have anything purchased and sent over from the States. I'm going to talk you through some numbers here so some people who are listening can understand what I'm talking about. So if I do live in the UK and I want to buy this card, if I want to buy this card, it's going to cost me, first of all, $500, which let's say is what? Probably £420, something like that, £430 now. So let's keep this in dollars just so it makes sense. So $500 for the card. I've got to pay $40 to have it posted over. Now, this is just a graded PSA, authenticated PSA card, so it's not very big, but that's still going to cost me $40. So I'm now up to $540 for the card. But right at the bottom of the screen, we have to pay import taxes, which is a percentage of the final value of the item, which is about 20% or 18%, something crazy like that. So I'm already paying $540. I've then got to pay another $120 just to have it imported. Yeah. So I'm now paying $660 just to buy this card. Yeah, just to buy this card. So if you are in America and you are selling internationally and you're wondering why people in the UK aren't buying your stuff anymore, that's why. Because it was
never that high. It was never that high years back, and I'd say you'd be paying $20 on that. But now it's let's hammer the poor old eBayers, the card collectors, and everything else. And it's a shame, really, because there's stuff in America that I'd love to pick up more. But when you're getting nailed for import fees, you got to be wise, haven't you? You really have to be wise.
Yeah. And again, this is something that's been hitting us in the UK for a couple of years now. I think it coincides with the decision for us to leave the European Union. I'm not going to get political about it. That's not the point. Yeah. But it kind of coincides with that. That's where these import fees have really skyrocketed. So yeah, spare us a thought over there in the States. Some people here are just getting absolutely smashed to pieces with import costs.
Yeah, one thing I have noticed in Canada, it's a lot cheaper with the imports. So say if I see a card on ebay.com, I'll have a look on eBay Canada and see if they got the same one. And save postage is $25. It'll be $15 in Canada, bizarrely. Maybe it's the Commonwealth links or something along them lines, but
yeah.
So it's something to bear in mind, isn't it? So, you know what? We want to trade with America. We want to be friends and pick up everyone's cards, but it's not allowing us at the minute, is it? It's very tough.
Yeah, very tough, especially when 20% easily of the fee that you're paying is just on the import itself, just to be allowed to have it come into the country. Yeah. Yes.
With that then, Jack, and that we're on with autographs. Is there any card you would like to get or would have liked to have got signed by the Big Boss Man that you'd think? Would it be a Swanson or?
Wow.
Tough one, isn't it?
Quite a dark card. It's got a black border. So all the Swanson borders, they're all black. So it's quite a dark card. Similar to this one on the screen. It's very dark. I think Bossman, I much preferred the cards I prefer for him when he was babyface. I think they're a little bit more friendly. So I might end up, I'll probably say, maybe, dare I say, my least favorite set, the 91 Blue Border Classics. Maybe that'd be a nice card.
Music to my ears.
I wouldn't say it very often that I like cards from that set, but
yes, one of my favorites. See, I'm converting you. Converting you already. That's it. So another thing whilst we're on with Bossman cards is like the modern era of wrestling cards, should we say? So that is WWE, I'd say 2007 to 2020, the top stuff. We have seen quite a lot of the Big Bossman's cards, and again, we've shown you before, they're very affordable to pick up. There's a few Leaf cards and Chase bits, but unfortunately, obviously the Bossman isn't here, so he isn't able to sign them. But it's nice that the WWE is continuing that legend, isn't it?
Yeah, and when we spoke about Doink the other week, and we said that Doink didn't really have any, in modern terms, Doink certainly wasn't part of any numbered cards, really. Maybe some parallels here and there, but nothing of any real sort of like chase, let's say, cards. Big Boss Man, actually, oddly enough, does have a card, and I forgot to grab it. I'm just trying to run through now to find this card. I'm doing this live on eBay right now to find this card. I found it the other day, and here it is. I'm going to just share my screen in a second. I'm going to show you the card. So this is a modern card, and when my system lets me do what I need to do.
Never.
Oh,
they never.
Wow, having some real technical problems here.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk you through it and just grab it whilst I can. So this is a card from 2019. It's a Topps card, but it's a 1-of-1.
Wow.
Now that in itself is pretty rare to have a 1-of-1 Bossman card. So I'm going to share my screen and show it to you now, so you can get a good view of it for those on YouTube. Here we are. So it's $200.
Yep.
About £160. So this is the 2009 Big Bossman Topps Vault card. It's a blank back 1-of-1 SmackDown Live WWF Legend card. So that's a bit of a mouthful there. But that picture I've never seen before.
No.
Used on cards. So I've never seen it. It's not a particularly common set, let's say. 2019 SmackDown card set. Don't know much about it, but it's a 1-of-1.
Interesting. See where it's got their SmackDown Live set. What does it show on the back? Just show us the image there on the back, Joe. Can you
see if I can just get a picture of the back up on the screen. Here we are. I'll share. So this is what's on the back of the card. That's it. It's just
Yeah.
a picture there that just
Totally
says
blank.
Tops Vault, and it's a sticker by the looks of things, a holographic sticker with the
Isn't that
number
interesting?
066027.
See, you got there SmackDown Live. Now, if WWE, AEW are struggling to get bums in seats, wouldn't it be a cool idea for like an initiative of giving one-of-one cards out to certain spaces in the crowd? If you went, I don't know, you were entered into a draw, or you sat on a lucky seat and you had a one-of-one wrestling trading card, I'd buy more tickets. I'd want to go and watch wrestling shows. I know that much. Sure, some other guys would want to go, and say if there was 100 cards throughout the whole stadium, WWE and Panini could do that. Get a few signed up, even just chuck them about and give them to fans.
That's a good idea. Yeah, have them specifically made for that event.
Yeah.
Have them dated to that event. Obviously, you couldn't have pictures of the event. That wouldn't work. You'd be breaking the laws of physics. But you could certainly have, like, whoever's on the card that night, have them have some sort of special cards from them to be handed out. I think that's a good idea.
It's like with Adam Hanslip, Adam Blackburn with his Arcadia Wrestling. Like, I've sent a few packs of his out to America. I know Chuck's has had a set, and it's just raised the profile of his wrestling company all through trading cards. And I've literally gone through the set, and quite a good quality cardboard. That's not just like run off your computer at home. He's done a great job at them. So maybe that's an initiative for future companies.
And I think it works. I mean, and I think the good thing is that as a collector, that me personally, I like to complete a set.
Yeah, completely.
He's selling it as a whole set, in one go. There's no point buying half of the set and trying to chase it. No point, in my opinion. I'd want the whole thing in one go. So that would attract me, and it does attract me to that set to be able to do that. And yeah, it works. It's raising the profile of the company. And I think as well, he said on when he released the set, and I read on the post that he put online, there's potential big rookie cards here, because they don't know how big some of these stars are going to get. They don't. No way of them knowing. So you imagine, it's like the Jericho rookie, isn't it? From a really small establishment have released a set of cards, and boom, one of their stars has made it to the absolute,
pinnacle
upper
of wrestling.
echelons of wrestling. You could be sat on a $50,000 card. It's
frightening. It really is, isn't it? How many of them Jericho cards are made? Not too many, I imagine.
Can't imagine many. No. Well, for that to command that price, can't be many.
Exactly. I'd love to own one, but that's when we win the lottery, Jack. I'll have to start playing. Hey, one of these days, I'm going to buy a ticket. So I think we've pretty much covered everything on the Big Bossman, haven't we? That's pretty much everything done.
I've got everything from this side. So I think that's episode 4.
Our next episode's a main event episode of a special guest, hopefully. Pablo should be joining us for a chat about wrestling cards and just break it up, get a few people talking. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, not from me. We'll get another poll up in the next few days for the next episode. If anybody wants to submit entries to the poll, if you want us to talk about someone, let us know and we'll put them into the poll for you. So if there's anyone you particularly want us to talk about, we can put it into the poll. We'll have three people each time, and whoever wins, we'll bring them up. So it's you decide. It's all you guys decide.
Same with questions. Got anything to ask? Shoot it across, because we'll try our best and answer it for you. One thing I'd like to add on the finishing, Jack, is just a shout out to the Big Bossman fan club. Whilst I remember, there is actually a group on Facebook who carry his name, carry it going, and his daughter Lacey, she's on, I think it's Instagram. She's always posting stuff and liking stuff of her dad, which is quite nice. So shout out to them too. Hopefully they like Submit Wrestling cards, and maybe they've got a few rookie cards, a few signed cards, one-off-ones. Would be nice to see.
Yeah, it'd be nice. Yeah. I think that kind of wraps it up. And also as well, you know, we've had a really good success on the Facebook page for people trying to complete sets, posting the numbers of cards they're missing. Keep going, keep doing it, because we are ever increasing the people that are on the page that are helping out and trading cards. So if you've got cards from sets you need, come onto the Facebook page, give us a shout, and just, you know, put the numbers up you need from the set that you're after, and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, we're there to help each other, aren't we, buddy? That's what it's all about.
That's it.
Yeah. Right, so we're going to shut off for now, wrestling fans. Thank you very much for watching Submit Wrestling Cards. Stay tuned for more. Thank you very much from myself, Kevin Williams. Over to you, Jack. Goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me as well. So yes, main event episode coming up next, and then we will go to our next episode after that. Thanks for listening. Take care. Look after yourselves. Goodbye.
Bye.
And that about wraps it up for another edition of the Submit Wrestling Cards podcast with myself, Jack, and my good friend, Kev. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube, and keep an eye out for the next upcoming episodes. And now a quick word from our sponsor, Wrestling Cards Worldwide.
Hi, I'm Michael, and I run Wrestling Cards Worldwide, and I'm proud to be associated with the Submit Wrestling Cards podcast. We've got thousands of cards and stickers from all different eras on the website, and if you check out the link on the podcast, they'll give you an exclusive discount code for the website.
Thank you very much, and until next time, bye.